Emil, what did apartheid mean in South Africa?
Apartheid is Afrikaans word and it means separateness. The word apartheid was given to the system of government that ruled South Africa from 1948 to 1994. The apartheid rule meant that the whites were separated from the blacks and the coloured. In 1953, the Separate Amnesties Act divided the racial groups even further. After this, whites and blacks had to go to different schools, transportation and medical services. Emilia, how many racial groups was the South African population divided into?
The categories were Black African, White, Colored and Asian. A census from 2011 shows that the Black people population in South Africa represents 76.4% and White people represents 9.1%, Colored represents 8.9% and Asian represents 2.5%. Today the Black people population represents 80%, White represents 8%, Colored 9%, and the Asian still represents 2.5%. And there are in total 11 languages in South Africa. The two most popular languages is English and Afrikaan. Emil, give some examples of the different ways that white and black people were treated.
White and black people went to different schools and universities. They had to use different public services like beaches, bus and medical service. The public service for black people were almost much worse than the white ones. Ida, how long did apartheid last?
Well, apartheid started in 1948 when Daniel Francis Malan was elected. He was from the National Party. He immediately began enforcing the political system, apartheid, which separated the black majority from the white minority. The political system lasted until the 10th of May 1994, when Nelson Mandela was elected with his party, the African National Congress, also known as ANC. Nelson was in prison for 27 years. Most of them he spent on Robben Island. But he was released by F.W.D. de Klerk in 1990 due to the international pressure and the growing fear of a racial civil war. Klerk and Mandela negotiated to end apartheid, which led to the 1994 multiracial general election. This was the first election where all races was allowed to vote. Mandela won the election with over 62% of the votes, and Klerk only gaining 20% of the votes. This was the end of apartheid, or the system at least, but the people of South Africa were still very separated, and they still are today.